Hey everyone, it's been a while, has it been? I have been busy doing a lot of things in my different house that I film record in my mother house, and then over to my dad house. We got a friend on gone on a special occasion, but I happen to upload to do stuff things. But I'm gonna do the update video tomorrow. But I've been doing something what's going on, and especially, but in the meantime. It's time for yet another film and TV news. Sorry, I haven't uploaded for quite some time. This is going to be a long return. So, this is going to be exciting news that the Mummy is back for real this time. It's basically not the Tom Cruise one. It's considered a failure that a failed universe that is Dark Universe. So, but this one is more different. That this is going to be a comeback. This is going to be a nostalgia going back to the roots after post Talk on Metric success. So, Evan does occur that Brendan Fraser and Reza Rice will return. Talks the return of the new Mummy movie will retcon the 2017 one that there would be was continue the wasn't described as a direct sequel of the first two Mummy movies, and even the first Mummy movie was pretty much it doesn't count because he got replaced by different actress, but still. And it's just the road that the team behind Radio Not and Scream movies, Radio Science, to set it to direct. So this is the call for deadline, and this is going to be announced that for Universal, it's going to be a more nostalgic cash grab between this along with the upcoming Miami Vice reboot. Was Josie Kosinski with direct, but in fact, that I further mentioned that the reason that Graham Bauer and Michael B. Jordan was going to be casting, but that's a half true because Oscar Butler was actually going to be cast along with Michael B. Jordan. So yeah, this is going to be happening. But there was a confirmed according to sources and insiders. So yeah, this is going to be industry one. If you don't know, The Mummy, if you were familiar with the movie Mummy, it was a film that's familiar with. The Mummy was the film that defined the studio on put on the ground. That the Universal was very gone on the new improvement of the well before the new millennium. But actually, I have to say that because hold on a second, stupid internet who complete this thing. I mean, I'm not sure this is yeah. Anyway, sorry that that I would talk to my dad and say he loves the Mummy movies. The first three one, the third one was mediocre, and the second was the stop breaking role of Dwayne the Rock Johnson before we become a hit pre Fast and Furious career. So I so let's some of them smell the rockets cooking. Anyway, I even know that my dad saw the Mummy back in late '90s and early 2000s, and I really respect that this is going to be a direct sequel, like they did with the Scream and especially Ghostbusters, or heck, even Beetlejuice. And so I hope it's going to be a bit casting might be the return, but this is and did I mention Terminator Walk Fate? It considered a failure, even though and Ghostbusters female reboot that considered a failure too. But this is what I would describe as a woke era of Hollywood. So many Quifter YouTubers about that. Anyway, there's a reporting from Deadline. Universal Pictures is returning to one of the most beloved action adventure franchise with Brendan Fisher and Razor Vice in discussion to return for the new Mummy movie, proceeding reprised their roles from the studio Mummy's films from the early 90s and 2000s, including the and 2008, when including the infamous first film, which starred alongside Jade Lee as a supporting role, as I call that. Um, most of the sources tell Deadline reps of the Universal Pictures declined to comment. The plot details for the new film are under wraps, but we hear Radio Science Matt Billette Operin and Tyler Gillett will direct a script by the David Hall, a family the Family Plan films and delivers this. I don't know what the Family Plan is. Yeah, a bunch of this movies that came out. The second movie came out in I think next month. I think it was part of the Apple TV rebrand. Yeah, the first movie was probably diesel well on Apple TV Plus. In the Village, yeah, it got even worse. I think David Hall was Goji Hall was pretty much terrible writer. To compare like a Jeb Waterhall is a director who's made like a terrible, mediocre films, and included both of which from three of which from Blumhouse. But yeah, I think it would make a good movie, but even not as good as a mediocre filmmaker. So that said, with the franchise relevant, John Daniel to produce alongside William Shrelak, James Vanderpitt, and Paul Nystuen from Project X Entertainment. Um, the project reunites real science to and Project X, formerly the recent work, together rebooted the Scream franchise with the films to up to, but not including next year's Scream 7, which Radio Science did not direct, which with Project X to produce because the Kevin Willison, he did the first couple Scream movies, who came back to the direct of the follow-up movie, but after the drama debacle and especially the fire of the one of the actors, especially Jenny Ortega was left the Screen 7 to make Wednesday season 2 on Netflix. So because I record this on Wednesday because it's at Wednesday, my dudes, but I'm not doing the whole thing. But Baby Lamb Creations was not doing it anymore. Anyway, um, um, the Project X most recent team with Billit, Oldman, and Garrett on the Ray or Not, Here I Come, horror sequel for Searchlight Pictures. And yes, this is the recording 3 days after Halloween because I'm as probably record this because um yeah, but that said, but yeah, it's because I record this and doing the Halloween but after the Ray and Not movie was came out next year. So anyway, previously Fraser and Weisz starring of two Mummy movies together in 1999's The Mummy and 2001's The Mummy Returns, latter starring alongside Dwayne The Rock Johnson as a pre um, during the height of the WWE career. No, formerly called WWF, but lawsuit set legal issues and changed to WWE that year, next year. Anyway, both based on the Universal's original movie monsters of the early 20th centuries, both directed by Steven Sommers, and both grossing near $4 million worldwide. And the 1990 film introduced Fraser as Ray O'Connell, the rogue American adventurer, and the former French Foreign Legion soldier, and Rice as Evelyn Shanahan as English Egyptology, working at the Cairo Museum of Antiquities. If you see the recent move, if you probably know the recent events after the grand opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum in Cairo, Egypt, you're luck because probably needs to that the resources and especially probably not to that before long before that the grand opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum. Anyway, over the course of the two movies, the pair go from the romantic partners to the married couple with a young son, battling ancient curses from the likes of the resurrected Egyptian high priest Ipot. Right. Well, Evelyn dies in the second film, but as a discover, she's a reincarnate of the Egyptian princess, although he's under a revival by Rick. So yeah, the community of the Fraser's rise are one of the biggest stars in the late '90s and early 2000s because, as we know, the after the Fraser songs was gone resurrected all thanks to the A24's the Weather was gone won the best actor. Um, these particular mummy films were so popular they have spawned off into the frame attractions for Universal Parks in Hollywood, Orlando, Florida, and Singapore. The franchise continued with the 2002's spinoff, The Scorpion King, starring Dwayne Johnson before why it was called Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That's doing it at the hype of WWE, and because it's also the first film that the Dwayne Johnson as a leader film role, which grossed the $118 million. Because a spawn of the direct-to-video movies, because back then direct-to-video stuff was pretty much DVD and all media releases had gone back when it was relevant before the physical media was gone downhill due to streaming. As well as in 2008, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor was quote so for $0.3 million globally was probably considered disappointment, where Fraser returned without rights under the direction of Rob Cohen, director of the first Fast and Furious movies and the both Triple X movie. Both of which was stars Vin Diesel, and they disappointed, and as well as a couple of films, including the Daylight movie with Sylvester Stallone, as well as the Self with Jamie Foxx was caught off of the Best Picture, Best Actor winner of the playing Ray Giles in movie Ray, and uh, and that's it. That Ron Cohen was probably could destroy the career entirely even after Self, as well as in this movie, The Mummy, Tomb of the Raider. So. And because no one know the Wild Wells because I mean it was replaced by Lily Taylor, but otherwise. Universal's most recent attempt to revise an IP with the 2017 The Mummy starring Tom Cruise, which was intended to launch a new series of monsters movies under the banner um, of the Dark Universe. Yeah, even this is along with other some actors like Sophia Bartet. Sophia Bartet was going to be a mummy, but that didn't work. But especially other actors like Javier Bardem as Frankenstein and Johnny Depp as Invisible Man, but that didn't age well after the Amber Heard marriage debacle, divorce thing, whatever they call that. But yeah, yeah, it was a disappointment in many. I think Angelina Jolie was going to be playing as a bride of her uh, Frankenstein, but yeah, it didn't work. But Jesse Buckley did in Maggie Gyllenhaal's the Bride movie was not for Universal, rather of a rival company, Warner Brothers. And at the time, Warner Brothers was pop up in another movie called The Mummy, but for New Line Cinema because in the para universe, where Universal might distribute in the new Mummy movie instead of Warner Brothers New Line Cinema thing, but because the connection because of federal lawsuits, like I mean, the Godzilla movie was pretty years ago. Godzilla movie was produced by Warner Brothers instead of Universal. This is bullcrap. Anyway, um, while the film performing solidly at the box office, including China, taking of the 409 million dollars worldwide, um, it was a critical pant. Leading Universal was scrapped to Borders Duck Universe brand. Turning back to the Mummy, yeah, I think the reasons that the cinematic universe just probably didn't work, and especially the dead universe that is DCEU. But I think this pretty much the happening that the cinematic universe was going downhill. Like I mean, this sure DCU was did fine, and the MCU was going to be terrible if you were subscribed to my anti-Snyder channel, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think the Dark Universe was basically the but Invisible Man was good and made and released in 2020 before the pandemic happened. But that's a freaking good movie. I love that. Elizabeth Moss is good sober performance. So yeah, turn it back for the Mummy franchise makes sense for the Universal, given the real Ray from the Millennium nostalgia for both all things Fraser and his Mummy films. In particular, the broader fandom will be at the asset at the time when the studio was very poorly at the box office with the attempts of the model movie monsters like the Abigail, the director by the duo of Radio Science. Yeah, I love the Abigail, and this is after the Melissa Bobler was fired of the Screen 7 because of reasons, but that's okay. As well, You Monster too, because the latter was released in the small scale um, film company. Vertical Entertainment, which is probably more to size for the horror Screen Queen because it's pretty much known. And I think no, because I respect the Melissa Barbara was probably going to make a next film with John Travolta for all places. Yeesh. But yeah, I think Your Monster was between Abigail and Your Monster was probably going to receive, especially the latter was composed by Tim Riddles for all places. Yeah, the composer of Pearl. Hold on a second.
No, I'm a star! Please, I'm a star!
Hilarious. That scene was pretty become popular, especially David Cosper's performance became attention to to become some star in the James Gunn Superman movie. But I digress. But still, I think that I think this is happening. That Radio Silence will continue making movies, especially the Radio Not movies. So yeah, it's going to be happening. So but but next year, so I hope to see what happens. In Fraser's who came back with the Fraser songs, was a it was a basically the was a 'cause I describe as the it's like Matthew McConaughey did with McConnell songs with and because the Fraser songs was going to be more different kind of direction, and this is one that could be a new phase of the career. So yeah, Video Science next film, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, follow up with the some other release led 2019 hit, Ready or Not, hit theaters on April 10th next year. The film catching the second wind of in his career and following his Academy Award winning award win Best Actor for the A24's The Whale, directed by Darren Aronofsky. And Fraser is back with the award circuit in this season's with the Searchlight's Rental Family, directed by Hikaya. Yeah, yeah, I know he's Japanese, but even Celia's song was probably know the director two A24 films like Past Lives and uh, the Materials with so yeah, this is good pretty much. I haven't seen it, but I'm only gonna watch it streaming someday. But yeah, it was releasing November this month, 21 was this month, and the Oscar winner, Weisz was counted off projects including Prime Video's Dead Ringers was a co-produced with it was based on the 1990 film 1989 film I think the of the same name starring Jeremy Irons. If you've seen that movie, it was become a cult following, but it was a David Copperfield thing. So this is produced from Prime Video before the Amazon NGMC was changing, and then Marvel's Black Widow. It came out in 2021 because pandemic and the day-to-day release, and they got a lawsuit with Scarlett Johansson sued Disney for breach of contract of releasing movies and streaming about ADRS. So yeah, that's pretty much. They also both represented at the Linden Entertainment, led by Nicole King, who's a talent manager of Jennifer Garner and even Vin Diesel. Yeah, the family. But yeah, I am excited for that. This is going to be a huge surprise of the team behind Scream and Reboot and Ray and Not movies. It's basically the Brendan Fraser and Razor Rice were coming back for the new proper direct sequel like did with Ghostbusters Afterlife did. It's going to be a similar to that, but better. So I'm excited for the new Mummy movie. So I pretty much watching my channel. I'm excited for that. Or even the Mummies, or even the Tom Cruise said,
Show me the mummy!
but yeah, I am excited for that. But even another Steven Sober's franchise led was pretty much doing another thing like Van Helsing, because I think Hugh Jackman might came back to do a sequel, and actually no, Jesse Sade for Awfully Good Movies made already did that in the Awfully Good Movies review.
Because I presume that when they asked Hugh Jackman to come back, he told them the same thing that I want to tell Stephen Summers.
Go f yourself.
Hilarious. But still, I'm excited for that. But the Mummy sequel is good. Mummy sequel was going to be more the like Mummy in Wiccan and Mummy, the Tomb of the Emperor was also starring alongside a supporting role at um Jet Li. So yeah, I digress. But I'm excited for that. This is going to be a huge nostalgia phase. It's going to be back from the new movie. These two lovely actor, there's an indie darling and the most important actor who came back after the best picture actor winner of the well. So I'm excited. So I hope to see what happens. So and again, because Tom Cruise once said,
Show me the mummy!
anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the film and TV news. Sorry I haven't uploaded for quite some time. I'll be doing an update video tomorrow, but But in the meantime, let me know what you think. What are your thoughts of the excited of the new Mummy movie? Was it going to be a direct sequel? Ignore the third one. Did Brendan Fraser and Racer Weisz coming back? Let me know in the comments. And so let me know. Give it a like this video. Share your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell so I update videos all so often. And I'll see you guys in my next video. And keep watching on One I Mean.